go live. That's what you do.
Okay.
That's all you got to do. Let's see here. Is it going to do it? Is it going to do it? This is why we're testing it out. Yes, it is. Okay.
It's working.
Hello, folks. Thomas is here. He's going to help us with this. And again, this is just seeing how this will work on Sunday morning. We will do a devotional, so if you want to hang with us and hear a quick devotional, please do that. I'm getting a Ricola right now. There's a song that goes with that. Thomas is our cameraman. And there, I can see it. There it is. Okay. I'm going to try the pulpit mic. Turn this off. You don't have to do a single thing. All right. Let's see. Hopefully you can hear. Hopefully. Well, today, you get 2 nuggets in 2 days. How does that? This one is called A Waking Nightmare. Again, this is from Sinclair Ferguson, and this is from his devotional Advent called The Dawn of Redeeming Grace Daily Devotional. Here it is, A Waking Nightmare. It says this. Well, we left Joseph into an emotional nightmare, plunged into an emotional nightmare yesterday. Matthew adds further twist to the story. Joseph, being a just man and unwilling to put Mary to shame, resolved to divorce her quietly. Joseph was a just man. He was dikaios, the same Greek word used for Elizabeth and Zechariah in Luke 1:6, where it's translated righteous. In the Bible, a righteous person is someone who belongs to God's covenant family. Someone who receives his blessings and lovingly seeks to obey his laws and statutes. Much of whatever education Joseph received as a child would have been involved in memorizing Torah, what we know as the first 5 books of the Bible. No doubt the shattering news brought Deuteronomy 22 through 37 to mind, which outlined what's to be done in his present context. Now remember, Joseph, only one thought could have filled Joseph's mind, and it's this. In the absence of what we'll call immoral assault, Mary had committed a capital offense. Indeed, her adultery broke the entire second table of the law. It, excuse me, went down the wrong pipe there. It dishonored her parents. In essence, it was like killing Joseph. It was stealing what was pledged to him. She had lied to him. She had desired something that did not belong to her, it appeared. But in God's providence, Joseph lived in occupied territory under Roman rule. The Jews did not have authority to enact the death penalty, although sometimes it may have been put in effect by mob rule. But the just thing to do under the circumstances were to treat Mary as guilty and divorce her. An act of public humiliation. It was a nightmare scenario for our guy, Joseph. But Joseph thought, I'm going to do this as quietly as I possibly can. The combination is significant. It tells us that Joseph was a Micah 6:8 man. He would do justice, love kindness, walk humbly with God. God had surely been preparing him to be the father to whom his own son could be submissive, and in whose home he would later increase in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man, Luke 2. But we can't overlook something Matthew says here. Joseph did not act in haste. He, quote, considered these things. And apparently, still considering them, he went to bed to sleep on it. The same verb is used in Acts 10:19 of Peter reflecting on the meaning of the vision he received in the house of Simon the tanner in Joppa. Although the Old Testament law was clear, like Peter, Joseph was still trying to work things out in his mind. On the one hand, there seemed to be no question of what he should do, and yet, was there something holding him back? Joseph usually acted decisively. Later on, we learned that he immigrated with less than a day's notice. He just took off. All he needed to do was divorce her quietly. All he needed was the presence of 2 witnesses. Perhaps time would bring healing and acceptance. Yes, that surely was God's way for the righteous man. So why, as Matthew tells us, is Joseph still trying to work things out when he goes to bed? Because there's something about the conclusion he has reached that doesn't fit. The picture doesn't seem quite right, and he can't see why. If you've seen the movie The Star, they do a good job of highlighting this struggle with Joseph. He doesn't know what to do. Of course, a lot of sanctified imagination is used in those. We don't know exactly, but I think that particular movie does a good job of portraying Joseph trying to work this out. Joseph had fitted a wrong piece into the picture. The conclusion that Mary must have committed adultery. Once the right piece was in the place, the picture would look entirely different. Yet for now, it seems that there was a restraint on his spirit. God was restraining him from acting, at least until the next day, long enough for him to have a dream that would provide the missing piece of the puzzle. And then his waking nightmare would finally be transformed. We will learn more about Joseph's dream tomorrow. But for today, there's an important practical lesson. Our Bibles are not lists of do this and don't do that. Our Bibles aren't sitting there telling us what we should do in every specific situation. It is therefore not always equally clear what we should do. To give a common example, how do you know if it's God's will for you to marry a particular person when there's no verse in the Bible telling you to do that? By the way, I went to Columbia International University. It was called Columbia Bridal Bible College, jokingly referred to as Columbia Bridal College, because it was not unheard of for 2 people to meet within a week. There's an engagement ring. That happened a few times. And what they always said was, well, the Lord spoke to me and I'm supposed to marry you. I don't want to downplay that from ever being the case. However, many a girl said, well, he didn't tell me. What about taking a certain job? There's no Bible verse that says, yes, take that job. Or move to a particular place. Or begin a particular ministry. God guides our lives by teaching us to live according to his will revealed in Scripture. We are to apply its principles and precepts to the circumstances and situations in which we find ourselves. But if, having done this, we sense a restraint on our spirit, a sense of something doesn't seem right here, I am not sure why, we would be wise, we would be to be Joseph-like, to hesitate, to sleep on it until we have more light. Sometimes there's something in the Scriptures we don't fully understand, or there may be something in our situation still needs to be clarified before we can take the next step. At such times, we need to wait on the Lord and wait for the Lord to unfold his plan. That's what Joseph seems to have done, thankfully. Well, how do we do this? I'm reminded of the answer given by John Flavel. He was a minister in Dartmouth, England in the 17th century. He wrote these words. Here they are. When you're uncertain, here are 5 things. Number 1, get the true fear of God upon your hearts. Be really afraid of offending him. Number 2, study the word more and the concerns and interest of the world less. Number 3, reduce what you know into practice, and you shall know what is your duty to practice. In other words, work out what you should do in the light of what you already understand in God's will. Number 4, pray for illumination and direction in the way you should go. Beg the Lord to guide you. Number 5, and this being done, follow providence as far as it agrees with the word and no further. I love that. Follow providence as far as it agrees with the word and no further. Joseph would have liked that, wouldn't he? Let's close with the fear of God. It's a poem. Oh, thou art greatly to be feared. Thou art so prompt to bless. The dread to miss such love as thine makes fear but love's excess. But fear is love, and love is fear, and in and out they move. But fear is an intense joy than mere unfrightened love. They love thee little, if at all, who do not fear thee much. If love is thine attraction, Lord, fear is thy very touch. F. W. Faber, 1814, 1863, The Fear of God. Good word there, good word. Okay, Thomas, and then now, thank you for joining us. If you really want to watch us move a camera around, you're more than welcome to do that. Hey, there's Mara. Come on up here to the camera. I'm just joking. It is going live right now. So it can't hear you. It can only hear me. So, Thomas, see if you can get it to follow me. And you don't, most people, I doubt anybody's watching. Can you get it to follow me over here? Is it doing pretty good? Okay. How about over here? Okay, can you extend it back, like zoom out? I'm going to be a person on the play here. I bring tidings of good joy. Hey, hey, ah. Okay. This is my jam. When I was your age, I was a shepherd, and that role entailed holding a crook and wearing a bathrobe. So here I am, a shepherd, and here's shepherd 2 and shepherd 3, and there's no ranking. Each shepherd has no line, probably. And then, okay, and then let's see if you can go all the way over here. Can you go over here? Whoa, what in the world? Whoa. I did not know you could do that. Okay, send it back over here. Hey. Okay, go back to the pulpit and we'll call it a day. Thank y'all for joining us. I'm pretty sure nobody's still with us.